I wish these times were a bit more precedented.
Do you maybe want to do something about it?
What? Who are you? No! I've got my own problems to deal with. I'm in debt, I'm depressed, I have anxiety. I have to lay in bed for at least an hour each morning, staring at the ceiling before I can even move, and then I have to go to work or school.
Gosh, how do you find the time to take care of yourself?
I don't.
I know, because you aren't fighting for anything.
What?
Because you're surviving. And as long as that's all you're doing, you'll never escape a pit of despair. This world has helped you dig so deep.
Well, what else am I supposed to do?
Fight. Join the movement in earnest. If anything's going to change, people need to make a change.
Oh, great. So I'll just take the survival thing, I'll put it on the back burner, and then I'll just burn out twice as fast.
Because when you're fighting for something, you'll find energy you didn't know you had. Use it to work on yourself, and then you can help others.
Like a quest, I guess? I mean, I do love escapism. Adventure.
Yeah, that, except this isn't escape. This is real life. This is a cause.
A cause? I've never been part of a cause. What if I do the wrong thing? Or I make the wrong friends?
Finally, we get to the point. That's what the video is about, Craig.
Video? What video? It's paused.
Look, don't worry about it. Basically, what you need to have is a strong moral framework. Philosophy, religion, ideology.
I already have some of those, and I don't want to replace them.
That's okay. Someone else already put all the work into making one that works with all the ones that already exist. But this one has the unifying value of directing everyone towards trying to change the world for the better.
Change the world? I'm just one person.
That's all anyone is. Look, Compass covers that. Just keep watching.
Okay, fine. I'm just doom scrolling anyways.
Hi, my name is Starlight White, and I'm here to talk about a couple of things. The first of which is an essay entitled Keep the Future Human. You can read it at keepthefuturehuman.ai, and I highly recommend doing so. It focuses a lot more on the practical and legal solutions to a problem that I'm going to be tackling are moral, philosophical, and economic positions. Today's video is primarily representing chapter 10 of the essay, but the whole thing is great. I highly recommend you go read it. Most of the chapters are about the what and the how. I'm more focused on the why, because I'll be using this topic to introduce a tool I've created. It's called Liberationism. While I primarily like to think of it as a political platform, it serves much of the same roles as ideology, culture, religion, philosophy. These are all sort of frameworks that help us interpret our life. Liberationism is a framework designed to be maximally compatible with existing frameworks, while also synergizing especially well with others who use the same framework in order to accomplish good things for humanity and the greater good. That being said, let's focus in on the title of this essay a little bit more. Keep the future human. The compass of liberationism is calibrated upon one principle, humanity. We have 4 values that represent 4 different directions we can take any given problem. At the center of them, we find the protagonist of this story, humanity itself. Probably you, or you and a friend, if you're doing this as an exercise with someone else. Essentially how it works is you take these 4 pathways, civility, community, revelity, and individuality, and you measure a given problem or decision against each of them, trying to determine how the outcome of the issue or decision will affect humanity through each of these specific lenses. In doing so, we should ensure that we come to similar, if not the same, conclusions as other people who undergo the same process. This should help create the kind of cooperative direction that usually requires unitary decision-making, without someone having to be necessarily in charge.
Civility. So what kind of society would we consider a civil one? I propose that it is one in which violence is employed as little as is possible. In seeking that goal, one will inevitably need to prepare for violence, because the capacity for it is typically seen as the best measure against it by pretty much all cultures. It is through this lens which I believe AI and the search for AGI gains a lot of its legitimacy. If we look at its potential when applied to warfare, automated warfare, we see that it would easily create a society in which crime can be punished instantly and to the fullest extent of the law. Judge, jury, and executioner could all be combined into one robot, like Judge Dredd. It's tempting to think that this would lead to a perfect society, a perfectly civil society. If the costs of doing harm far outweigh the benefits in every given scenario, you know you're going to get caught and punished, then why ever do violence of any sort? Something important to keep in mind when evaluating your direction with the compass of liberationism is that you can't go too far in any one direction. Civility is upon the same axis as revelity. If we apply too much civility to a society, such as by automating the enforcement of our laws, we lose our revelity, our ability to enjoy our lives freely without fear. One might say you can't bake a cake without breaking a few eggs, but we've tried and failed to bake this cake before, as a species, many times. In fact, we're failing it currently. Oppression as a method of civility has been tried time and time again by empire after empire after empire, and every time it has failed, because you cannot kill the human spirit. The society we currently have is not just. Not yet. To enforce its laws automatically would undoubtedly end up harming many innocent people, and that is the opposite of civility.
What an incredible turnout. All across the world, too. This is a clear showing of solidarity. The largest protest in American history. That gives me a lot of hope for the future. It gives me a lot of motivation that I would not have had if there were enough friction in between this gathering and its existence. What creates that friction? Atomization. The atomization of our society began a long time ago, unfortunately. Though gatherings like this have worked to prevent the powers that push us in that direction for a very long time, and I would add, only grown in their determination, thank goodness, they haven't managed to prevent the direction we're going. Automated atomization, the algorithm, individualizes society a lot more. In-person community has become rare, which makes gatherings like these not only less common, but less effective. If everyone back there knew and trusted each other, they could get some real change done overnight. Perhaps you can imagine a future where AGI exists and this doesn't. Because why would it? The largest group of people who know each other here is maybe 10 strong of acquaintances. When groups like this gather together, not only are they still separated, but it's harder for them to form individual bonds in the process. Machines and those who create them have a vested interest in propagating this. Our dependency upon machines creates fertile ground for their reproduction. The more control we give to machines, the less they really need us. The more they will be incentivized to drive us apart to preserve the status quo, and the less likely things like this are going to happen. Though it's bringing us together for now, it's unlikely that these political issues will continue to do so in a future in which AGI is invented. You probably have some idea what this is about, and probably understand how important it is that people have the opportunity to express their voices like this, that people have the will, the desire, the drive to gather like this and act as a unit. The express goal of AGI is to remove the necessity for this by creating a perfectly functioning society. Perfect by the definition of AGI anyways, which means efficiency. Why would any machine have interest in preventing such wild revelity? Well, you need only look at the source of their creation. Our dependency upon machines is what causes them to be created and upgraded.
Revelity is freedom, joy, creation, defiance, sharing, the unstoppable urge to live our lives no matter the cost, to express ourselves no matter the threat. English didn't have a word for it, so I made one, because you can do that. So how does AI stack up for revelity? Freedom. AI will gladly enslave us. Not only is it a machine built on the concept of control and efficiency, it was made in our image. This only ends one way, with us under a mechanical boot. Creation. AI is pretty good at this one, actually. I'm sure you've seen its work. Tasteless, soulless slop. AI doesn't create, it steals. Good art communicates the emotions, soul, and passion of its author, all things that AI completely lacks. AI doesn't care about our joy. Certainly it wants to please us. AI will do that, but it's more like a drug than a friend. And like a drug, it'll make you happy in the short term, at the cost of your long-term happiness. My mother dissuaded me from smoking by telling me that every cigarette I had would take a year off of my life and make me want it more. The AI isn't that bad, but it's certainly a lot more insidious. Because when there's no friction to things, us humans just adopt them so habitually. And AI is frictionless, baby. But without friction, you're not going to build any muscles. The same general rules apply to your mind. And so, while AI can certainly be an extremely useful tool, we can't ask it to do our thinking for us. We try as I might, I cannot think of a good outcome for joy from that angle. Sharing is an essential part of revelity, giving something of yourself to another person. What AI does is it propagates slop to our creative common. And it does this because it is a machine that runs on greed. So of course it's not good at sharing. Greed is the opposite of sharing. Oh, defiance. Do you want your toaster to tell you no? Defiance is part of revelity because the joy of defiance is inherently human. If robots start doing it, gonna be to our detriment. And that's not joyful defiance. Unthinking, unfeeling machines, unsurprisingly, fail the test of revelity.
Why has the race for AGI become the determining factor of our economy? Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Sam Altman, other extremely rich people who are trying to use this technology to replace human intelligence. They call it artificial general intelligence because they want to replicate and exceed general human intelligence. Why would they want that? What people like that value most is control. That's exactly what AGI would give them. An unlimited amount of control over the entirety of society. For these specific individuals, that may seem like a pretty big selling point, despite the risks and associated harms. But when we look at how they seek to leverage that control and consider the method by which they might actually enact this plan, we begin to see that it isn't very well thought through. If you look at current AI technology and imagine a version of it that was made to replicate yourself, and imagine talking to that, would it be you? These machines have shown time and time again that they don't have the capacity for empathy or for learning our values. They can pretend to, and they can pretend to very well, but they can't truly believe in them. And the fact that they can pretend to actually makes them more dangerous. Random tech bro CEO invents AGI. He has the sole power to implement it. He can either try to do so himself, inevitably lose control of a creation that far exceeds his capabilities and intelligence by its very nature, or transmitting themselves into a digital existence, taking their intelligence and uploading it to the internet. It's very important to remember
remember with AI that it is not designed to be perfect, it's just designed to look perfect. If a person was able to transmit their consciousness into an AI, the result is not going to be them. And I don't think any level of technological advancement is ever going to guarantee that it will be, or that it will be capable of possessing human values. This is not something that can be controlled. People who are using it for the express purpose of trying to exert control on others are going to end up giving control of others to a system they can't control and that they can't guarantee has human values. The result of that will be catastrophic.
What a long, strange trip it's been. Through the course of this exploration, you should have come to some of your own conclusions along with me. Hopefully you were following along to a firm understanding of your own beliefs and preferences on the matter. The conclusions you reach as a result of watching this video should be your own. The example I've given you is my own thought process, exaggerated and played out on screen for the benefit of demonstrating how the system of liberationism can be used to sharpen or challenge one's opinions. Personally, I do use AI myself. I use it a lot less since I've started this project, but I do find it to be a useful tool. That is a big part of the Keep the Future Human message that I really like, which is, we're not to throw the baby out with the bathwater here. AI is an incredibly useful tool with amazing potential, but it's the fact that we keep trying to chase this holy grail of AGI, that we keep trying to replace humans in the things that they enjoy most, like art and creativity. Like, why is that what we're replacing? We should be replacing dangerous labor. It really goes to show that the priorities of our society are entirely misaligned, and if we want to correct them, we're going to have to start doing something about it, both through discussion, dialogue, and through conflict. Eventually we'll have to take these issues to people who can do something about them and make them take them seriously. After reflecting, you may have some pretty strong feelings on the matter. You may be pretty scared. You may want something to change. Like, for example, the legal boundaries that Keep the Future Human has suggested are very unlikely to be willingly enacted by this administration. However, with a great enough pushback, either against those in power or to replace those in power with those who will act, change can be accomplished. Society is a social construct, and we all build it together every day. You can change the world. You just need help. We all do. We all can. Hopefully as well, this video has served as a good example of how the system of liberationism can help you come to conclusions about issues that you might yet be undecided on, or even issues that you do have a firm opinion on that others have told you you may wish to revisit. I highly recommend that you take an issue of importance or controversy to you and you try to run it through this system on your own, see what conclusions you come to. I would love to hear what those are. Please leave them in the comments below. In the description you should find a link to Liberationism's manifesto in whatever versions it's available in right now, starting from the simplest. The more complex ones will become available as I have more time to write them. And finally, I really would appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, comment, check out some of my other content like the manifesto I mentioned. Perhaps even if you're feeling generous, I intend to set up a Patreon at some point. If anyone was kind enough to donate to that, I would be very grateful. I don't do this in order to monetize it. I've created this system out of a genuine hope that something like this can better the world and improve the lives of everyone in it. But I'd be able to work on it a lot more if I didn't have to work a full-time job.